Welcome to the Comics Experiment, the show that is up on YouTube every Saturday. It's also filmed live on Twitch every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's uploaded to our Patreon where you get unedited access to it. This is the show where I sit with Dan, our producer, and Andy, our writer, and we talk about what's going on in the comic book world, or we have a deep discussion about what's important in the comic book world, or just in general have a fun time doing something involved with comic books. Today's episode is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends,
which you can go to patreon.me/comicsraid to get some free stuff and download and help us out. You can also do our other sponsor, Honey, where you can get a nice look at discounts and different coupons when you shop online at joinhoney.com/RNBE. Join for free.
And I'll tell you a little bit more about both those sponsors in the middle of today's episode because we want to kind of get rolling right into the topics. And hello to all of you Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and audio listeners out there as we forget you exist and hit the table.
You definitely do. That's very, very true.
Is it that we forget they exist or that we want them to know we're thinking about them?
Every time we hit the table, that's Andy thinking about you and remembering you're there.
You're welcome.
Are you Morse coding?
I don't know. There's a chance I just said something very inappropriate. Because I don't
Like
know
somebody's
Morse
listening to the podcast like, what the hell, Dan?
You jerk.
Yeah.
How dare you talk
like
about my mother that way?
So technically, this is a part 2 to our first video where we said, was Crisis on Infinite Earths bad?
Oh, yeah.
And I think most of us left off with the idea of you were meh. I was against a lot of the cameos, but overall we said it all comes down to the final 2 episodes, right? Mm-hmm. Could they redeem it? Could they bring it back?
Sure.
What were they going to do with it? Before we talk about that, DC's also announced some pretty cool stuff, and I want to talk about that first.
All right.
Okay.
You like that weird segue?
That was
like,
a really weird segue.
I was setting up our main topic, but then I was like, you know, it'd be fun. We could talk about the other shows.
I just want to be
like,
clear.
what are your thoughts, Dan? We don't care. What's coming out for DC Comics?
Before we do that, are these related to the big spoiler at the end of Crisis?
Well, yeah, the entire discussion of today will be spoilers.
I just wanted to make
total warning on that. Yes and no to an extent.
Okay.
Well, okay. What would you rather do? Should we talk about the latest news first or the Crisis first?
I feel like because the end of the Crisis kind of segues into the news.
This is a very good point.
It's what we refer to as a natural transition.
Yeah. Although your ways good too.
I like everything about our show to not feel organic and for it to just feel like it was like
This show is fully
processed
processed
together.
You know what? Let's do this.
Damn it, Gary.
Let's talk about part of Crisis, then the first show, and then the other part of Crisis, then the second show, then another part of
Sounds
Crisis.
good. And then out of nowhere, Marvel Comics.
Just cuz.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's got some announcements.
Disney Plus, their shows.
Yeah, sure,
why
why
not?
So, okay, let's take it up for the top of the Crisis then. So, recapping it, in the first 3 episodes, my overall complaint was I felt a lot of those cameos were completely unneeded and just shoehorned in, which we all agreed they were, for the intensive purpose of having cameos.
But then I said the best part was the cameos.
Right, because you didn't like the actual CW-ness.
Correct.
Yes. And Dan said he hated the whole thing except Batwoman.
That is also true.
Totally. I don't even remember what I said. So sure, I could have
It's
said
like it was
that.
3 months ago, though.
I know,
There was
right?
a 3-month break in between episodes.
Or 3 weeks, I mean.
I'm pretty sure it was 3 months.
First up, let's talk about that.
I don't know. What was it?
I get why they did the break, to keep the hype going. I felt that the break hurt it.
Oh, yeah. It was too long of a break because my hype disappeared.
Yeah.
I would have said a break in between the 4th and 5th episode would have made more sense.
You mean the finale and the epilogue?
Yes. Because the finale, the 4th episode was basically the ending to like
It was.
Everything that
that
happened.
main story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
The I didn't like it at all. And actually, my hype had died down so much, I forgot it was airing.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I had to get a text message yesterday telling me to watch them, and I was like, oh yeah.
The big issue I was running up to is basically like 3 weeks went by. I knew it was coming out on the 14th, and like honestly, if it wasn't our job, I probably still wouldn't have gotten around to watching it. It was just I just didn't care anymore. Like the hype from the first 3 episodes being back to back to back was great, and then they're like, "And we'll see you in 3 weeks," and I was like, "Cool," and then I just stopped caring. You know? When they started up, I had to watch the recap because I forgot where we had left off.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that got me hyped about the epilogue was the fact that it was the Legends of Tomorrow one. So I was like, I know this is going to be funny.
Right.
Because I have actually very much grown into Legends of Tomorrow, and it's probably one of my favorites just because it's so, like, it's funny and very few CW moments.
It's it's fun.
So I did like the fact that they started rolling the Legends in, and they kept like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
like they did a crossover, and we didn't even know.
This is classic them.
I did like the Diggle part where he's like, I'm never letting my kids watch this show.
Yeah.
I was like, Diggle's breaking the fourth wall? What?
So anyway, the Legends of Tomorrow, I liked Diggle's comment. I thought that was great. I did like the bringing them in finally. Wasn't this technically the Legends episode? Someone said that.
No, that's why I got excited, was because it specifically said like Infinite Crisis Legends of Tomorrow. Because this is the first episode that's restarting their season, I believe. I could be very wrong.
I
don't
think
look
so.
into
I
things.
think so. Yeah, I think it is. So that I did like the fact that we got more of the Legends in. I also like that we kind of started peppering in more of the characters. For whatever reason, I felt these last 2 episodes were more on the point of the show as opposed to the first 3, which just felt like, how many quick cameos can we throw in? And
Well,
make
then
the
like
heroes-
Flash was randomly like, oh yeah, he's been doing stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
Although I did feel like that happened with Black Lightning in this one too.
The Black Light.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm still here, guys.
He's like, hey.
So
I could see him do that.
Yeah.
Hey.
let's go ahead and talk about episode 4 first.
Okay.
Because I know you skipped most of episode 4.
I skipped most of episode 5 too.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't Legends of Tomorrow, I would have episode finished 4, and I would have been like, I don't need to watch the next one.
If you
Like-
cut past a lot of the CW-ness, you can cut those episodes down to like 20, 30 minutes. That's just what I did.
So what ended up happening is episode 4 came back. We discovered that the Flash can't get out of there because he's dealing with a lot of Speed Force barrier things.
It was, if I remember right, it was because like time and space had disappeared, the Speed Force was all out of whack.
Yeah, something along those lines. Regardless of the excuse.
Sure.
Right.
What it boiled down to was we need to go into the Speed Force to get back your friends. In a weird reasoning behind it all, but basically
Very interesting.
Basically, Oliver showed up. He's now Spectre. Which, did I miss something? They didn't really explain Spectre. He just,
No.
I'm Spectre now.
Yeah.
And you're like,
No, Jim Corrigan showed up.
Yeah.
And he went, you need to become Spectre. And they went, okay. And then we cut
And
to
then he was
the
Spectre.
4th episode, and he now has a cool hoodie thing, cloak.
Right.
And a voice changer.
And a voice changer, and Jim Corrigan's like, that's right. That's how you be Spectre.
Which one of my favorite parts was when he like makes a very, you'll know. And then he's like, how will I know? I don't know. But you'll know.
So we get Oliver back. I felt like the finale, other than the giant fight portions, its primary purpose was 2 things. Because I felt like Arrow almost got the shaft instead of Flash in the first 3 episodes. Because they wanted to focus heavily on Supergirl, on her trying to save everyone in her planet.
Right.
They wanted to focus heavily on
Screw the rest
Batwoman.
of the multiverse.
Exactly.
My planet is most important.
Exactly. They wanted to focus on Batwoman. Hey, this is the character that we brought into the CW, and you might not know her.
And she's like, why can't anyone keep a secret?
And by the way, I'm Kate Kane.
Yeah, seriously though. She's like, I don't get why everybody's revealing their secrets. I'm Batwoman, by the way.
So we were dealing with that in the first 3 episodes, and then this episode felt to me more like a finale goodbye to Oliver, because we killed him. We killed him in 3, and then obviously with the spoiler cast, we killed him again in 4. I looked into
And then
that.
we kill him again in 5.
Well, I looked
like,
into
just stay dead.
It's just them kicking him.
The reason they did that, and it's actually pretty cool. Actually, I looked at the interview as to why they did that. They killed him once, and then they killed him again. Because remember, we were both like, there's no point in what they're doing. Why are they going back to get Oliver suddenly when we've established he's now dead and doesn't matter? But now we got to go get him because he's going to become Spectre, but we don't know that.
Wait a second. Hold up. Did I miss the part where, because they brought him back from in the Lazarus pit.
Right,
Then
the
they
purgatory.
went, then they went to, and he was clearly alive. Then they went to purgatory to try and get his soul. He said no. Did they ever do something about his body?
There's a zombie feral Oliver running around.
Well, that's what I'm genuinely
He's gonna be
curious
the main
about.
villain of the next season.
Well, they never addressed that,
Right.
did they?
No.
Diggle was just like, let's just set him free.
I think they just
Let
brought
him
his soul
go.
back to his body and we just let it go.
Run away.
They let him free
Leave.
on the island.
And then he wasn't
It's just
leaving.
a feral Oliver Queen.
And then he wasn't leaving, and Diggle's like, "Leave! I don't want you here."
Throw a
So
rock at him.
you guys,
No, he's not a puppy.
he's not a puppy.
Oh, my bad.
My
So
bad,
anyway,
my bad.
I read the interview on why they did that, which I actually like. Once I realized the reasoning behind it, it made sense, but I didn't catch on to that. Apparently in the interview, he was like, how do we do something that we spoiled is going to happen last crossover? Which was the death of Oliver Queen. That was implied very
but
heavily.
make it do something that's actually interesting.
Right, and then, so they were like, we'll kill him twice. No one will see it coming.
Nobody sees that coming. We'll kill him, right? Then we'll resurrect him. We'll kill him again.
In the same crossover.
Ah.
From a writer's standpoint, how did you feel about the double death of Oliver Queen?
Well, I said the first death was lame.
Yeah.
I thought it was very lame for way for. I was like, that was it. That was going to be his death. It was better the second time. I think that was a better way to do it than the first time.
Did you like the idea of I guess what's it called? Getting rid of your expectations?
Subverting your
That's it.
expectations.
I was going to say subjecting, but I'm like subjecting your expectations.
My God, my poor expectations. I wouldn't say that it was subjective or see now you got me saying it. Damn it, subverting your expectations because you still knew he was gonna die.
But he was back as Spectre.
Yeah, but you still knew he was gonna die because they said it.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm dead.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like you still knew it was gonna happen. It was just like okay, it happened in a better way.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
And he actually like saved everybody.
Yeah.
And not just kind of got smacked around by shadow people for a couple
Right.
seconds.
So, I mean, that was mostly episode 4. Episode 4 was all about what I felt, and I was talking to Nate about this earlier, like a send-off to Oliver Queen. And that was most of what he skipped, because after Flash...
No, I saw all those.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So Flash goes into the Speed Force. We get the most unexpected cameo of all time.
I do like in the Speed Force, he shows up as almost like the Twilight Zone guy. He's in a suit. He's like, you must save everyone.
Including
from the
me.
Speed
Yeah.
Force. I was like, that's spooky. I don't like that.
You were going to say about the Ezra Miller appearance?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
First off, so Ezra Miller appearance. He runs into the Speed Force and he runs into the Ezra Miller one. But so there were 2 things that I did not like about it. One, they did it after the multiverse has died. How is he in there?
Yep. Well, Barry even says that, though. He's like, this shouldn't be possible right now. Yeah.
Because like they even state there's something wrong with the Speed Force.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it didn't fully make sense there. But because he's only been the Flash in Justice League, and that was so long ago, that like the way he was acting very much felt like he was just a fan of the Flash.
Yeah.
Well, and I said I was speaking to our father about it because he was like, he's like, that was kind of cool. I was like, yeah, but when you put them side by side, it really spells out the reasons I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Oh, 100%.
Now, that could just be the writing.
Yeah.
It
I was
could
going to
have
say,
been.
it's because they kind of write him more dumb. It almost seems.
Well, they
Yeah.
kind of made him dumb in
Justice League,
Justice League, which didn't really
he's
work
supposed
for
to
him.
be like this brilliant forensic scientist, yada yada yada, and they kind of make him more dumb. And I was like, I don't really care for him as the Flash. But
Yeah.
as you know, as I said, that boils down to kind of the writing, though. If they had written him more
Right.
like classic Barry Allen.
I actually felt, and this is how I found out about them wanting to subvert the expectations about the Arrow's
nice.
death. Like, how did they make this work? Because as far as we knew, they were separate, and this was not going to happen. I actually felt, until I read the article on it, that it almost felt like they weren't there. Like they weren't actually interacting, other than the fact they were spoken. But they're
Other than the fact that they were
Well, what I'm saying
interacting.
is the speech patterns felt weird. Like they weren't
Almost
talking-
like they filmed one and then filmed
Yes.
another.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
But they didn't.
No, they didn't. There's a
Oh, no, that's
behind
how
the
it
scenes
felt.
photo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's definitely how it felt though, where
Yeah.
it was like,
Unless that was Photoshop.
Well, because a lot of what Ezra Miller says doesn't seem like it lines up with what Barry's saying. You
Right,
know?
yeah.
Which I guess you could add into the confusion and things
Sure.
like that, which is cool. But the way they did it just felt weird and awkward to me. And I looked into it. Apparently, so if you want to know how they pulled off Ezra Miller, in the same interview where they explained why they decided to kill the Arrow twice, what they did was they they were done. They were completely done filming. That's why it feels so weird where it was put into the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems out of place.
It did not.
in the show.
It did not work for where it fit.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they were completely done with the show, but the producer, one of the producers who owns the DCEU section of the WB, called up to Greg Berlanti or whatever his name is and was like, "Hey, would you like Ezra Miller in your crossover?" And I guess his response was like, "Yes." And the guy goes, "But you're wrapped, right?" So, and then he's like, "We'll make it work."
Don't even worry about it.
I guess like the entire Arrow team had left, so they only had the Flash crew and sets left.
Right.
So that's why he's at Star Labs.
That does make sense.
Yeah, but and I guess they said the biggest thing was that no one spoiled it on the set. Ezra Miller was apparently in Vancouver for like 2 weeks or something like that.
Impressive.
That was
nobody
impressive.
caught him like on a phone or something.
Yeah.
Which I did find it funny though, because it came out one night and then I woke up the next day and went to Twitter. And I'm like, and spoiled.
Oh yeah, I saw it on YouTube before I actually watched this show.
The worst part about
Like,
that,
can you guys not wait just like a little bit? Because not all of us can watch it the night of and have to wait for the
that's
streaming.
not the way the internet works, Dan.
I know. I'm sorry.
I was actually more annoyed by that too, because with the Crisis, I was like, I'm going to watch it first thing in the morning, so I'll just stay off Twitter. And for the most part, it should be. For the record, I'm okay with spoilers in the sense of I'm not okay with having them, but I'm aware like this is my job.
You expect them.
I expect them. But I was like, I should be pretty safe because like the shows are going to end like 9 my time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be doing anything. Like I'm not going to be chatting with people or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
I should be okay. And as soon as the show ended, I got 3 immediate messages from clueless fans. What did you think about Ezra Miller? Well, I guess he's in there somewhere.
You should have been. You should have just been like. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. I don't really know a lot about him. I don't know.
Haven't met him.
Yeah, like we've
so
never
I don't
met.
know. Never been in the same room.
And I know it was just unintentional. Like no one was like, "Oh, I'm going to spoil it," but come on.
Yeah.
Who are these fans? We'll find them.
We'll find them.
Yeah.
Their usernames are
Thawny,
Corvus,
Corvus,
and Flashpool.
And Flashpool.
And Tevye. Tevye also hit me up, and he was like,
yeah.
He was like-
did you see the mention of the Super Sons?"
Oh goodness.
But yeah, anyway, so episode 4, basically Oliver Queen was in almost every Speed Force moment except the Black Canaries one or White Canaries revival.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And hers was, Barry, okay, let's go. He was in every other scene.
And he's like, sorry, you're not real?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take your dead
Just gonna
friend.
Go. It's cool.
You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
But yeah, and that was most of the episode. Then we had the big final fight, the Spectre blasting.
The one I will say about that they should have had people running around in green screen suits because it was very clear that they were punching air.
Oh, yes.
They're like, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You
Lex Luthor's
died.
like, ha
Ryan Joy. Then we got Ryan over here going, I've been pretty much defenseless this entire time, but let me fight off the evil villains.
And realistically, the Spectre versus Anti-Monitor was...
Penance there. Oh, no, that's not me. That's
No.
not me. Shit.
It was
swirling around.
Do you want to know what that scene was? It was the finale to Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, so it's all red. He's now shooting blue into the sky, and I'm like, is this going to overtake all the red exactly in the same way?
And that's
that
when
Avatar
Spectre became
did?
an earthbender.
So I liked
It's the arrow glowing on his head.
Awesome.
I liked the idea that they used Oliver. I guess the Spectre's dead again? But they used him to make the new multiverse.
So who's the new Spectre? Find out this season on Arrow.
However, do you want to know what Spectre did? I believe he opened something.
I was going to do that.
I know, but I was leading you into it. I wanted to be a part of things.
Did he open a portal to the multiverse of ads? Today's podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Are you tired of those cartoonish looking games? Want a more real, raw, dark, epic, and awesome game? Well then Raid Shadow Legends is for you. The game is crazy popular with over 15 million downloads in just the last 6 months. Raid has all the features that you'd expect from a brand new RPG title, such as an amazing storyline, super sweet 3D graphics, giant boss fights, player versus player battles, and hundreds of champions to collect and customize. You can find me under the nickname I'm Comicstorian, and if you're quick enough, you can also join my clan. Raid Shadow Legends is now available for both your mobile device and on your desktop, and the game is cross-device, so you can easily swap back and forth using the same account. So what are you waiting for? Download Raid via my link at patreon.me/comicsraid, which you will also find in the description down below, and get a free package of over 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and the amazing champion, the Adjudicator. This package will only be available for the next 30 days, so make sure you act now. And the multiverse collapses! We're down to one world again.
Oh, God. We started the show over again.
Yeah, Jesus.
So what did you guys think of the show, the episode 4? Because, yeah, you're right. That is the finale. That was...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a finale.
Yeah.
And
It was like a semi-finale. The semifinals?
That was probably one of the most perfectly timed camera clips that Gary's done.
Good job, Gary. You stopped drinking finally.
I liked it, but I felt like it ended a little too much like a conclusion. As weird as that is to say, I felt like it ended too much of a conclusion of everything's wrapped up, that I genuinely did feel I did not need to watch that last episode, even though it turned out to be rather important. And I felt like that kind of bugged me a little bit. They didn't give you a reason to get excited about the next episode. Like it calmed down, it ended, but we're going to keep going kind of thing. And that just kind of threw me off.
I will say that the comic version is sort of the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
it
haven't read the comic version.
It's like,
so.
it's done, it's over. And then cut to the next issue or the next episode.
Right.
Everybody wakes up, everything's been mashed together, and everyone's really confused.
Okay.
Yes. The comic
that actually is pretty
That
similar,
makes sense
yeah.
because the episodes did very much feel like they were like, hey, let's go full comic book.
Yeah, and
People want that.
that's pretty much how it felt.
Okay.
Or how the
The,
actual comic was.
I wasn't aware that's how it ended.
Yeah.
So,
So,
that makes
I will
sense.
say that was fine.
So there's a whole bunch. So before we talk about 5 and the direction they're going with everything, because this is the conclusion, there's a lot of complaints about it. Oh, the writing was terrible. Oh, this was terrible. Oh, this was bad. My favorite is that they tried to do Endgame. I've seen that multiple times, and
Thanos showed up right at the end.
I don't really think they tried to do Endgame, considering it's Crisis.
No, they didn't.
Like they didn't create something new. They used
Yeah.
something that already
Yeah, I was
existed.
gonna say it's pretty much. I mean, that's what Crisis was. It
Yeah.
was like every hero from across DC's multiverse at the time,
Pretty much.
getting thrown together.
Yeah.
Or
And
every version of a hero too. So
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, except Kingdom Come. He got treated like a bitch.
it's very angry.
He's back, though. Yay.
Not only is he back, but he had a happy ending.
He did.
Yeah, he even winked at the camera.
Did he? Oh, he gave us a camera wink.
You didn't notice?
No, I wasn't.
It was straight up like the ending to Superman 2.
He probably
yeah,
looked
yeah,
over
yeah,
and he
yeah.
was like, back to my raid.
You right there?
That was what you. That
No.
was me doing the
I wasn't doing anything that day. I was watching the show, actually.
He
Good
was
job.
hailing the dragon.
Anyway, no. So writing is first complaint. I don't think it was terrible, but only comparing it to the rest of the CW. In line with the CW, just as bad as the rest of it.
I mean, it was very much CW. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Like nothing about the writing felt out of whack for CW. Now, if you're trying to compare it to Endgame's writing and things like that, or Infinity War into Endgame's writing,
Right.
yeah, you've got big budget movies, big budget writers, and you're going back to television writers that are building on a teen drama show. So.
And let's be honest, all CW shows have a tone.
Yeah, it's the exact
They
same
do.
tone, and all of them.
And all of them, regardless of whether it's a superhero show, a vampire show, teen drama,
Hunt Monster show.
like they all have a certain tone that they all pretty much follow. It's almost
Yeah.
like they give them a guidebook.
I would
When they're
actually
writing it.
100%.
Yeah, like-
All right, you need to have somebody really upset about the relationship.
Yeah,
you
like-
need to have
and
someone
it's-
acting like the big crisis doesn't matter because they have to worry about their particular
Yeah,
relationship.
it's just kind of how CW should. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I don't really watch them anymore.
We need to have a
Right.
very terrible
Yeah.
line where they go, throw it like a girl, and she actually throws it like a girl. It's the worst throw ever.
It's just like
Well, true is.
Wait, I'm sorry.
the softball
I'm
throw?
sorry.
Yeah.
That's episode 5. We're not there yet. Okay, real quick.
Sorry.
that was like a 70s comics line.
That was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I actually had
yeah,
no problem with the line, throw it like a girl. But it was then, like, it was obviously, like, Melissa Benoist, whatever her name is,
Benoist?
first take on it. Because it was
Oh.
like,
I think it's Benoist.
Benoist? I don't
think
know what
it's
it is.
Benoist.
I thought it was
I'm like, you
Benoit.
could have easily made that look like you were throwing it with, like, some kind of strength.
Yeah, maybe practice before the shoot.
I'm not saying you needed to be like, a major league player going with it, but she literally, it reminded me of when we were in the military in boot camp. Do you remember the privates throwing their grenade for the first time?
Yes, I do. It's hilarious.
And it's like,
and it goes like
that's literally
3 feet at your plop.
What they teach you to ensure that it won't land at your feet is they're like, throw it like this.
It's a shot put.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what they tell you to do.
But that's what it reminded me of seeing her.
That's fair. Well, clearly, she does shot put.
Obviously.
Duh. Oh, now I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Oh, it was regarding the writing.
Yeah.
I felt like the break emphasized the lack of drama because the first 3 episodes were so serious that I feel like if they continued it, it would have kept that serious vibe. But the separation kind of let you die down a bit. Then your head just went to CW and it just felt out of place a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were saying at the beginning, the break hurt it.
I think it did.
It should have been 2 weeks max. Like 1 to 2 weeks max, and that should have been it. Not 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it was.
8 months.
No, actually, I think there should have been no
3
break.
years.
I think this should have gone all the way to episode 5.
Yeah,
and then
even that.
Because then we would have had speculation for the next
And
3
then
weeks.
just do a break.
Yeah, it would be like, oh my God, what are they going to come back with? What's going to
Just
change?
make it a
Exactly.
crossover
How are they
week.
going to start the new seasons now that we've got this? Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, as far as writing goes, I don't feel like it was any worse than normal CW shows. Now, bear in mind, I watch a lot of CW shows. They're not the greatest writing. I don't consider them the worst, but a lot of people do. And if you aren't watching CW shows and you're like, well, I just finished watching the entirety of the MCU's 10 years. Let me go watch the CW crossover. Yeah, it's going to pale in comparison.
Yeah. I do want to throw in there that it is a little emphasized by the fact that CW is not fully directed towards us that we don't like it. Because to some people, they love the writing.
Sure,
because it fits their style.
I mean, that's a personal
Oh, it definitely
preference.
is. I just wanted to say it because I'm sure there's some people out there that really, really love that writing, and clearly it's focused towards you and not really us as an audience, which is a shame because we're big comic book fans, not big CW fans, and that's where the conflict kind of comes in. You're not a comic fan?
No, I'm not a fan of your statement there because CW's writing across the board gets rated very lowly.
I'm sure there's someone that
CW
likes it.
I mean, that's the difference between a critic's opinion and a person's opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you go to movies. I keep looking at the camera and it's looking at me again. You go to movies. And
Andy signals when he wants the camera to look at him.
I just go like this. I might really enjoy a movie and critics tear it apart. Like, I mean, that's just personal.
That's true.
preference.
I actually
it's all
normally
subjective.
I normally ignore the critics review and I look at the overall.
That's how I usually do it, yeah.
audience review. If it's over 60, I'll watch it. Yeah. My bar's really low.
Obviously.
Unless the Tremors. I just started watching all 7 or 6 Tremors movies again, and those are bad. But so good.
Sorry, I wanted to throw that out there.
No,
just 'cause-
So anyway, so people complain about that. Same deal with the effects, though. Everyone's like, oh, in comparison to everything else. Like, well, yeah, if you're comparing it to big budget movies with millions of dollars,
No.
you got to keep in mind, the CW films in Vancouver for tax breaks. I mean,
I think one of my problems with the CG was Martian Manhunter. Because
I like the scene where
they
it's
tried
just him in the costume. He's not even trying to look like Martian Man.
Exactly. Like, you only see him do it like twice where he's like, I'm green and I'm gone. And then he comes back, I'm like, I'm back.
He does the eye glow thing.
you could tell the budget was stretched when in the big freaking finale with literally people flying and laser beams, they're like, we can't afford to put you in the costume. So
No, they can afford to put him in the costume, just not as the Martian Man.
No, but even at that point, he was still in the final fight. He was still in the coat. He didn't have the suit until they were on the new planet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he was still in just a coat and t-shirt.
I mean, that's how I would fight if I was a superhero. Jeans, t-shirt, boots, jacket, whatever. It's fine.
The best part is I have images of like he wasn't on the casting call for that day. And he just happened to be on the set, and they're like, "Yo, just come over here.
It'll be fine.
We're just gonna throw a punch."
He's over at the craft table, like stuffing his face.
Just wearing his own.
Oh man, I
clothes.
don't want to get in cost over this. It's fine. John would totally do this way.
It's true.
He would.
It's all about comfort.
So let me ask, how did you guys feel about the fact that they used the DC Rebirth memory spark in the Speed Force? Of the DC Rebirth where Wally went to the Titans, everyone had forgotten him, and then he zaps them and they go, oh, I remember everything. They did the exact same thing with everyone in the Speed Force. He
Well,
shows
it
up
did
and he
afterwards,
goes,
too, with Martian Manhunter doing
That's
it.
true.
Exactly, but
he's
they were like,
by the way.
It's the ultimate plot device. By the way, here, remember all that? There you go.
Oh, man.
because he sees Ollie and he goes, you did this. I remember everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. It was a way to move the plot forward. We didn't need them. Like, all right, and now we're going to take a 10-minute explanation of who you are, Oliver, to every single person.
Right.
Overall, I thought it was okay. I do like that we kind of cleaned by the four. I didn't like all the cameos. I really didn't. I felt like a lot of that was unneeded. I get why they did it, but I felt like even in Crisis on Infinite Earth, they didn't go to every Earth looking for things and stuff like that. Like
No, I mean, they generally showed you every Earth, but it wasn't like we went there for a particular reason.
Right, and in
It's
this one
just
they did.
It was in the comic book. It was the Monitor's towers were in specific Earths, and then they met like Commandy, the last boy on Earth, and things like that. Yeah.
But I know I like the way the comic book did a little better. This one just felt like too much. Like, how many people can we get in? Just
Right.
throw spots.
I mean,
for them
certain
all.
scenes were 100% for fan service, like Tom Welling.
Oh yeah, he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything, but it was an awesome scene.
And Kevin
I
Conroy.
mean, he did punch Lex Luthor in the face.
Kevin Conroy.
That was a fun scene too. But the scene, like, that was a completely fan service.
Yeah.
I like. There was a lot of backlash on like they did Kevin Conroy dirty, and I'm just like they're like it was women power. They were showing Batwoman beating Kevin Conroy. I'm like, no, they showed what Batman would become if he was evil.
And what Batwoman would do if Batman became evil.
Right. And in my defense, I am gonna say I called that from the beginning. Everyone was like, oh, no, they could totally show a Batman and it won't affect the plot. No, I said it straight out. We're not going to see a heroic Batman until Batwoman wants to show him.
Oh, yeah.
That's because the moment they do that, it'll be, well, where's that Batman?
Yeah.
Where's the
Why
Kevin
are we
Conroy
not?
Batman?
Why are we not getting that show?
However,
a
I
young
will say,
Kevin Conroy.
They de-age him.
Yeah.
I will say they could have done that though because of the fact that they then wiped the universes and she's on a new planet or a new Earth.
Well, no, they could have, but I'm just saying.
But I do agree.
Yeah,
I do
my
agree with
entire
what you're
argument
saying.
was that we will get no version of Batman until Batwoman shows her. That was my
shows
argument.
Him.
Yes.
Isn't technically Batwoman on the same Earth?
They're all the same.
So
right now.
she's
No,
on
no,
Earth
no.
pri-
Before the
before
crossover.
she was on Supergirl's Earth,
No.
not on Flash.
She was on Flash and Arrows.
Yes, because Elseworlds
Either way.
Arrow is like I
Either
thought it was
way-
a myth.
Yeah, no.
Either way, it doesn't matter because that Earth got destroyed and they're now on a new one.
But what they did establish, Batwoman, it was on Arrow and Flash's Earth. But they did establish that there is a Bruce Wayne and Batman on Supergirls. We just never saw him.
Okay.
I wonder if it was Kevin Conroy.
Which is what
No,
everyone,
'cause he killed Superman in that
which
one.
is what
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
was trying to tell. Like that was the big response to my Superman video and me saying that we're not going to get Batman until Batwoman shows a heroic
Correct,
Batman.
yeah.
They were like, "Oh, they could totally do that on a Superman show. He's on that Earth," and I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, look, they just conveniently wiped him out of existence.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist anymore."
Ha. In your face, fans.
So overall, I thought the event was okay. I kind of liked Elseworlds better though.
I did enjoy Elseworlds more.
Because I felt like Elseworlds had some fun moments, but they still had a major plot. While this one was very much like the plot's it's behind the cameos and the appearances. And what did you think, Andy?
I mean, I would say the cameos and the appearances were to serve at least the multiverse side of the plot. I felt Elseworlds was a little weird. Like, it was all predicated around like this one guy who's messing with Barry and Oliver.
Right.
But I felt like it focused on the heroes, like the ones that we kind of grew to know, who should, in my opinion, have taken the forefront of the entire crossover event.
Well, no, I do. Well,
The first
I do
three episodes
feel-
was Flash going, "All right, guys, we'll see you in next episode."
No, yes, I will say that like at the beginning, Oliver and Flash were just like, yeah, they're doing stuff, guys. That's all. But I feel like the idea of the cameos, while yes, there was a lot of them, and some of them were solely for the fans, I do feel at least they were based around the idea of the multiverse.
Right.
You know, it wasn't just they were like, oh, here's Tom Welling as Superman. Why? Don't worry about it. Just
That's kind of what they did, though.
it's
but
Tom
no, I mean, the
Welling's
idea
Superman.
was they had to go find Lex Luthor was killing Superman. So
Yeah.
they were trying to like warn certain ones of them. So at least it served the idea of there is a multiverse.
All right.
You know
all
what I'm
right.
saying?
Because I liked the way they introed the episodes where they would show an Earth getting destroyed. That was fun.
Right.
Seeing the Titans go down and the
Yeah.
Birds of Prey go down. That was fun. Like I liked that. I felt like that wasn't intrusive, but I felt like Tom Welling or even Kevin Conroy, all of that stuff was. Overall, I'd say out of all of the crossovers, because I know you've seen them all, I think you've only seen Elseworlds. Did you see?
No,
I've
seen most of them, actually.
I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen like one episode of the one where Captain Cold died, because I was watching Legends on the plane, and for some reason they were like, you know what, this was back when like it was in their episode list instead of a separate event. So I'm like going through and I'm like, wait, what the hell? They're running from aliens and Captain Cold's dead?
The Devastators.
Yeah,
and it was literally the fourth part of a 4-part thing. So it was like, I've missed so much. What's going on?
Right. I still think Crisis on Earth X was the best. I think it was called Crisis on Earth X.
The one where they go to fight Nazis.
I think that was the most.
That was the one I'm referring to.
Yeah,
that was.
Because it was very much.
Really
I think that's the one I'm referring to, right?
Yeah, I think because they bring him back, but they kill him off again, kind of a thing.
They bring back a gay version of him from a different Earth.
Yes, Dominators, by the way, our chat fixed the Invasion episode. Because Invasion was a cool test to see if they could do it. I felt
that was the first one where like Supergirl showed up.
Right.
And Oliver was like, oh crap, now we got aliens, man.
But I liked Earth X, I think, the best because it did the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
It showed how big it can be, but we still focused on like a core 3 or 4 heroes, and then we focused on the story. I felt Elseworlds was fun. Better than Crisis, but I felt like Elseworlds did have its issues. It felt a little wonky at times.
Right.
You know,
Stephen Amell was in the Flash costume, and that's just wrong.
And it was used primarily as a backdoor pilot for Batwoman, so that was also kind of got in the way, I think, to an extent.
It did, because you got a character where you're like, there's no basis to this character, this version of the character that I know of, so I don't know really.
Right. And then I felt like Crisis was just so focused on showing as much as it can while saying goodbye to Stephen Amell and that crew. You know,
right.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. The writing was on par with CW. The CG and budget were on par with CW. I don't feel like they hurt it at all, but I don't think it's the best crossover. What do you think?
I'll agree. I mean, I didn't see of the ones I've seen, it was my favorite because I did not see all of Crisis X or whatever that one was.
I want to say it was Crisis on Earth X. But
I think so too, actually.
I always get the name Crisis and just say Earth
X. I just know Earth X was it.
Let
me just see if
Nazi superheroes.
Nazi
That's what
Crisis.
It was. Because they were like the Nazi versions of everyone.
Yeah, it was called Crisis on Earth X.
So okay. Yes. So I did not see the full one of that, so I cannot say anything about it. I did enjoy probably... I don't know. I liked it in certain ways, just like I liked Elseworlds in certain ways. Like, there were parts where I really enjoyed that, and there were parts where I was like, can we just get past this and get to the parts I want to enjoy? Elseworlds was the same way. So I'm kind of...
Yeah.
I'm not going to finish them.
No, that's I agree.
That was
like, there were some parts I thought were fun, and then I also skipped through a lot of the CWE parts.
I will say the only big complaint that I've seen that I do agree with was that it felt rushed. Now, I don't feel like it was rushed in the sense of like they were writing the script as they were going, but as we've seen with the Ezra Miller situation, as people agreed to cameos, they were like, write that in there and move this scene.
Right.
And
I think to avoid the rush and kind of eliminate the problem I had with the 2 episodes would have been not rush episode 4, conclude it first half of episode 5, and epilogue second half of episode 5. I felt like
we're going to talk about
work.
5 and what this sets up in a second.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to talk more about that. That's not being done. But before we go into the 5th episode of this crossover, which involves the multiverse, Dan, why don't you open up the adverse? Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. You messed it up. Today's podcast is sponsored by Honey. Honey is a free shopping tool that helps make sure you're getting the best deals possible when shopping online. With Honey, promo codes are automatically added to your purchases, allowing you to get the best price on products with very little effort. It's free savings. How could you not love that? I saved $12 when I ordered Shiva a new cat tree from Amazon, and, well, she's a cat. She loves it. And I love saving money, so it was a win-win. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, including Macy's, Target, Best Buy, Amazon, and more. And they even add more stores every day. It's not surprising to see that Honey has over 100,000 5-star reviews on Google Chrome Store. Using Honey feels great. Think of it as a little daily victory. Plus, it's free to use and installs in just a few seconds. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE. That's joinhoney.com/RNBE.
I have a different portal, so it makes a different sound.
No, we agreed no sounds. Here, let me close it. Whoa!
He's like, no, your sounds are stupid.
All right, so I think we can agree where we're at now. It's time to talk about episode 5. And the reason I wanted to save this for last is it has some fun moments. There's a lot to talk about. But it's also primarily setting up a brand new direction, a whole new idea.
Right.
I personally feel like it's creating jumping on points for most of these shows.
Yes.
Like for people like Andy or me. Like, I haven't seen Supergirl since season 2. So like, oh, well, we're going to change a bunch of stuff.
Right.
It's also going to be used as an excuse to get rid of anything that didn't work.
Yeah. They're like, that
Like
didn't
Stephen
happen
Amell.
anymore.
How did you feel?
was
First
not
off, let's talk about Superman's backdoor pilot. Or do you want to talk about that last?
Let's avoid the show pilots until we've talked about
Backdoor
the
pilot.
episode.
It's in the show. It's a big comment. It's one of the changes. Let's talk about the
Which
episode
part?
first, then we'll talk about the changes that
Okay.
they started talking about.
So one thing I want to say about the writing in this episode, which I loved because it was Legends of Tomorrow writing, it felt weird when they put Legends of Tomorrow writing on the other characters.
the
Because
goofiness.
exactly, like the goofiness of throwing it onto like Diggle or like the other characters, I felt it was a little out of place because it was no longer that character. It was the Legends of Tomorrow version of that character. Now, that being said, I still enjoyed it. I really enjoy the Legends of Tomorrow humor. I love when they constantly talk about the crossovers, like when Nate's like, they did a crossover. You know, every time this happens, they commit a felony. Like,
Yeah, he's like, did they kidnap you? We will come and get you.
yeah, exactly. And
I also liked the comment of like, well, one of us is already there, and we get to
Yes.
see.
And he's
Mick Rory.
I like when she was like, thanks, Roxanne. I mean, what do I actually call you? And
Or
he's like,
Rebe- yeah.
Rebecca. He's like, Rebecca's fine. And he's like signing it, Rebecca.
And I love that he's signing at Rebecca and he's smiling.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just
Yeah.
having a
Mick
good.
Rory of all people. Rebecca's great. It's okay.
I'm really
He's the
glad
best
they kept
part of
that.
Legends, honestly.
He is great. I'm really glad they kept that in there for his character.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Legends episode where that's entirely revealed is a fantastic episode.
I do like that. Is that a part of the new multiverse? Like, well, here I'm a well-known author.
Oh no, he was a well-known author in the
He
main
became-
universe.
yeah, he became like a
he was
well-known,
like a ghostwriter for the longest time, so no one knew. But then he revealed that he was Rebecca Silvers or whatever her name
Yeah, I
is.
think it's Rebecca Silvers. I think. Yeah.
I really liked this episode because a lot of
did.
it was, you had a lot of fun moments like the Weather Witch fighting Supergirl and her going,
Yeah, she's
who?
like, who the hell are you?
Flash being like, oh, that's one of mine. What are you doing on my Earth?
No, you're on my
was-
Earth. And then
However, sorry.
Marv Wolfman shows up to get their autograph.
That
Yeah.
was the best
That was a
cameo.
fun cameo, yeah.
I like that
and he's
one,
like
but
Marv with a V.
I did like the small Endgame nod during that part where she's basically like, I don't even know who you are. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I liked what they did there. I liked that they're setting it all up. Now it's set up. They're in one universe.
Yes.
Which was for those who
Most
don't
of
know,
them.
was the actual purpose of the crisis. Was to put the ones that are important in one world.
yeah.
At least I did find it funny that they're like, we fixed it. We have one world for all of our heroes, but the whole multiverse exists still.
Well, that's how that's how.
But we found that out
Crisis
later with
works.
Crisis on
Yeah,
Infinite
yeah, yeah.
Earths.
I was
Right.
gonna say it was like everybody's in one multiverse. All right, we still got more multiverses. By the way, they're still out there. Ezra Miller's running around one of them.
Well, actually, funny part about that, did they do a Justice League Earth?
No, they didn't show
I
it
don't-
there.
I don't
There was
recall
Earth-
them-
No, they didn't show it. Like
They
in
didn't
the
show
clips
any,
or
which
anything like
I'm
that.
kind of like, is that them going, that Justice League doesn't exist anymore?
No, they were because they were showing Earths that don't even have a designation yet. Also,
Well,
I
they
found
do
it
now.
funny with the Earth 2 reveal, where Stargirl, the new show, is. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know where Jersey's on.
And did I get it right or wrong? But like, I tried to catch it and I meant to watch it before the episode. Did they show Titans and then show Doom Patrol in two separate Earths?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not crazy then.
Yes.
Why did you?
I'm
they
pretty
weren't-
sure they're
they weren't
speci-
supposed to
very-
be on the same Earth.
No,
were
the
they?
DC Universe shows are all supposed to be in the same thing.
No, because
were.
they
I
showed
think-
different versions of those characters, though.
No. In Titan season 1, the Doom Patrol's in it. Then they rewrote them as a pilot, but it's still the same characters and
I
most
think,
of the same actors.
I'm pretty sure this was kind of DC Universe. I think it was them asking for them to do this so that they can do a Doom Patrol story, ignore the Titans. Do a Titans story, ignore everything else. Because that now gives them the chance of going, All of this is in a different universe, so we can do our own story, not have to care. Our own story, not have to care.
And I thought, yes, while some of the actors were the same, like they weren't supposed to be in the same universe because like their origins or their plots and stuff were different. The origin was different, and nobody ever mentions the fact that we had a green kid who ran off with a bunch of teenagers.
The chat is saying that they were on the same Earth. Doom Patrol and Titans were on the same one.
Don't recall them putting the same number.
I'm going to see if I can find it real quick.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed, though, they eliminated the way that Season 2 of Doom Patrol ended, because Season 2 of Doom Patrol ends with everyone still shrunk from the situation of them going into the rat.
That's Doom Patrol,
And
though.
then they bring them back. Well, I just thought it was kind of a fun little thing to
I had a
notice.
feeling that they were never going to answer that, and they were just going to be all fixed. So that's
That's
yeah.
I'm with you, Dan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for humoring me.
I have a better idea.
Tacos.
Tacos.
Now, while you're looking for this,
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to see. Can we mention the very last scene, or were you leading up to that?
No, we're going to that, but that's also where Superman is.
Yes. So, the end of the episode, we get the Hall of Justice,
Yes.
and we get the meeting table.
Right.
I'm curious what you guys think of the fact that it seems pretty clear that they're going to be using Supergirl as the Wonder Woman of this universe.
Yeah.
That's how I would have guessed it too.
Because because they have Supergirl as the female superpowered one, and then they are clearly using White Canary as the Green Arrow character. The down to earth kind of keeps everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I
down
would have
to
said
earth.
either Green Arrow or, I mean, Black Canary was on the Justice League as well for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. But, I mean, they're kind of like the same idea. So,
But so, what do you guys think of that? Like the fact that they're
not going to do like a Wonder Woman.
they're not going to do a
yeah.
Wonder Woman. They're clearly leaving it as Gal Gadot. She is Wonder Woman. We're not even
Yeah, they
going
didn't
to
even
try.
I mean, because they got like Donna Troy over on Titans, but they didn't even really try to do a like Artemis or somebody
Exactly.
in the CW universe.
so
I see. I found that weird too. It's actually funny because Susan Eisenberg, who does the voiceover work for Wonder Woman, tweeted out no Wonder Woman nod in the entirety of Crisis.
It's weird that they didn't bring it up at all.
do you think they're ever going to sit in the other person's chair and go, "That's mine"? It was like, oh, sorry, I got the wrong color.
Mine's,
my bad.
mine doesn't have the yellow on it.
Yeah, my bad.
I wonder if they're setting up for something in the future. You know?
Well, I mean, I assume the next crossover will just be called Justice League or Super Friends.
Justice League, no justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, so
I want Jaro.
our
Justice
Twitch
League. Give me
chat,
Jaro.
I don't know if they're in the same Earth or not, but they reference Titans as being Earth 9 and Doom Patrol being Earth 21.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
So,
Yeah, I was
the
going
only
to say.
only issue I had with that is in Titans, they backdoor pilot the Doom
Yes.
Patrol, which actually...
Correct.
And they
But
don't-
I always thought they were technically supposed to be two different Earths.
I don't see why them doing that in a universe and then recreating other
Yeah,
universes.
yeah, yeah.
because they
matters,
reference
though.
each other too much.
No, I'm aware
But I mean,
of
they
that.
could easily fix that by
But
going...
they referenced that before the multiverse died, and very
Right.
clearly the multiverse came back different.
Right, yeah.
Oh, no,
So-
I agree. And that's why I was wondering, like, it came back different. Because I think Swamp Thing's also on a different Earth.
Yes.
Also in DCU.
We were saying earlier
That was my favorite
that
part
he
of the
shows
cameos.
up and Swamp Thing got canceled, and
He
he's
just
so
looks sad.
He's just like
I'm here too, guys. And then it
Did anyone watch my
and then
show?
It cuts to the Doom Patrol, and they're like, "We got another season." And then Titans was just clips of the Titans.
yeah. But
And then Green Lantern was, we made a movie in 2011.
Now, I will say, because they announced that immediately following that, they've announced the Green Lantern show.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But those clips were from
Yeah,
2011.
well, I
definitely
didn't catch
were.
that because I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
the clip, but at the time I saw the show, they had announced the Green Lantern show on HBO Max. So I'm like, oh, 2 Green Lanterns of Sinestro.
Sure, yeah.
That makes sense. I didn't click that was the 2011 Green
very
Lantern.
much.
By the
That's
way-
why they're all glowy.
I'm really hoping John and Guy Gardner. Just saying.
That would be sweet.
Uh,
That'd be a
those are the two
that'd be
Green
a
Lanterns
fun, like,
I want.
buddy. It's like Lethal Weapon, but with Green Lanterns.
I
you
will
pitching that
say
now?
I am.
I am more expecting Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
be
most
honest.
likely,
Those
yeah.
would be the two that they pick because they're the most notable.
Yeah.
And if it's Sinestro, you got to have Hal. It's such a key part
generally,
to.
yeah.
What about the
Yeah.
fact that we got John Diggle in a green outfit, but he still didn't get a ring, even though we got a nod to it last crossover?
I think that's going to be because
he might be the
they
John
might
Stewart.
use that of like this is the start of him proving his willpower.
Maybe.
Because he didn't really do anything that I would go, you're right. That's deserving of him being chosen as the only person for this sector.
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
If anything, he's more like Simon Baz at this point because he carries a gun
Yeah,
still. Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
what do you guys think about overall the direction the CW is going? I like the idea that we've merged everything together. We're not dealing with the.
I like the merge because now they can go, hey, fresh start. We can take into account the complaints people have made over time and kind of not fully cater to the fans because we've seen from Star Wars that kind of ruins things sometimes. But go, you know what? That was a good idea. Let's throw that into the show. People will apparently love it. We can like make it make sense because you can have the humor of the different shows now that it's solidified. They are in the same universe. They kept that very like humorful. That's not a word. I almost
Humorful.
It's a word now. When the Flash and Supergirl kind of teamed up a little, when they showed up at the same spot, and I think that was kind of them going, "Hey, look, we are going to have different vibes now in the shows based on these characters, not just this is the Supergirl theme, this is the Flash theme," because that sometimes is what threw off the crossovers. Was when they went to the different shows and you're like, okay, this is clearly one thing, but very different tones.
Right.
It's essentially going, all right, so here is a full comic arc, but it's different writers for each issue and very stylistic writers as well. Like Grant Morrison and Scott Snyder and Jim Zub.
Do not fear.
And Kelly Thompson.
Humorful is officially in the dictionary as an adjective.
Woo! There you go, man. Nicely done.
Humorful.
Anyway, one thing that I'm excited about, and I don't know if they're going to do you think this will lead to more minor crossovers? Supergirl
Yes.
popping in
I
on a
would say it's
Batwoman
easier
episode.
to do it. Yeah, no, they're all on the same
I
planet.
think it
or
will be.
same
I think
multiverse.
it'll be similar to other shows where it's just a single episode crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like
Even
Arrow
if-
and Flash did at the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
Well, and
they'd
that's what
show up for an episode, or like Barry would pop in and be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Felicity shows up.
Yeah,
like crossovers
exactly,
of
something
support
Which
like
cast.
they
yeah.
mentioned her so much and didn't show her once.
What? Felicity?
Felicity. I don't recall them
I
showing
thought
her
the actress
once.
left.
Yeah, she's done on
No,
the shows.
no, I'm
that's
pretty
why.
sure
Yeah.
she did, but they mentioned her all the time that she was still there. Never showed her. Never mentioned those two other people, Jason from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and
Wild Dog.
chick that stood next to Jason.
What? No, Wild Dog was shooting bullets at the Spectres.
No, they were.
I still
No,
love the fact that
but they
everybody's
never-
got superpowers, and he's like pistols.
But as far as I saw, I don't think they referenced who they were throughout the entire crossover. And as someone that has not been watching Arrow to know who they are, whereas
Right.
at least the other ones, they did eventually say their name or who they were. Those two, I was like, who are they? And then they just were fighting. I'm like,
Wild Dog.
when did this happen?
Pistols.
The yeah, I don't remember. The chat's saying that Felicity showed up for the final episode, but I don't remember seeing her.
I don't
No.
remember.
That may have been me glancing over at something else on my computer.
Yeah,
but
I was
I
skipping
must have
past
as
a lot of
well.
CW scenes.
on the last episode, you don't want to see them fight the giant teddy bear?
I did see that. No, I saw that. That's not even what I
Yeah.
consider a CW scene.
No, that was a Legends of Tomorrow.
Were you just
scene.
yelling at Gary with the camera
Because I
switcher?
just look over and I see me. It's never good
goodness.
to see me that close. That's my wife.
I actually, what I'm hoping for is next year's crossover.
Justice League.
Well, there will be a Justice League one, but we will get the minor crossovers. Supergirl
Sure.
on Batwoman. Flash is going to go run around on Black Lightning and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I liked Black Lightning.
Black Lightning waves. We call it good.
I'm surprised they don't do that with Flash more
Crossover.
often. They just have Grant Gustin like phone it in, literally.
You just do the lightning.
Yeah. And he just, and he's just like, I'm here, guys. Don't worry about it.
I want to quickly say on that part because I loved the part where White Canary is just sitting there and Flash shows up. She's like, "How did you find me?" And she's like, "You know that gust a couple minutes ago? That was me searching the entire city."
I liked that.
I was like, "Okay, I'm glad we finally like referenced that kind of stuff of him not stopping the first time." And having to
Apparently,
circle
she's going to be in
around.
the last episode of Arrow, which I thought was over because I
I-
stopped watching it 4 episodes in. But
They-
I guess they're going to do a finale episode.
but Arrow died. Are they gonna like
Well, you
not
know,
all
you-
Arrow
no.
and crossed out, and it's gonna Spectre, the new Spectre show?
No,
Watch that.
the
I would too, actually.
Arrow itself's turning into the spin-off.
The
with
Birds
the
of
daughter.
Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what's
right.
going on with
With
it.
the daughter and like 8 versions of Black Canary we got running around now.
I don't even know anymore.
Oh, we got the evil version. We got the good version. We got a white canary.
I was gonna say you got the evil version. You had the teenage version who turned into the evil version. You got the new version. You got the White Canary version.
I love how. What's her name? The white canary version.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Lance,
I like
yeah.
how. From what I have seen, I have not been watching Arrow consecutively, but I have not seen her show up and being like, "Why is there so many versions of my sister?"
Well, because she's running around time.
Yeah.
She's like a time captain now. She don't got time for that
Yeah.
bullshit.
So-
Don't got time for that.
So anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that.
I don't know either.
So we'll go to the other topic then. Superman confirmed what those 2 boys are.
Oh yeah.
He has 2 sons.
Yes.
So no super sons for all of those of you
Well,
asking.
Or they could be
I was
the
gonna say.
super sons.
They're
Two
literally
super boys?
Yeah,
sons
super
of a
boys.
super.
It's the super boys with a Z.
It's the super lads.
well, they're going to name one Connor and one John.
I would not be
That
surprised.
would be awesome.
I would
We
not
just
be
got
One wears
surprised.
jeans and a t-shirt only. The other one wears a Superman hoodie.
You forgot the jean jacket and the
Yeah, with
black
the
glasses.
90s glasses.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would watch that. Honestly.
I would watch that if he eventually like finds the harness.
I do like that because they could have easily done a little bit more with that as the backdoor pilot. I like
Right.
that the all they did was come back for your boys. Boys?
Yeah.
Your 2 sons.
I liked that.
Where's Martian Manhunter to hit her head so she knows where we're at?
I know, right? We didn't have 2 last time I checked. Although he was dead too. He doesn't remember that.
This is fair.
How does he
This is
remember
fair.
that? Wait a minute. I guess John probably showed
He
him.
just said, whomp, and he
John,
goes,
Yeah.
John didn't know.
He's like, Womp, you only got 1 kid. And he's like, wait. Why
they
does my
confirm
picture in
who
the
they
wallet
were?
say- No, it doesn't.
I
Well,
like-
one is said called John earlier, but that's it.
Did they actually say the names? Because I just kept wondering.
No, they never said him as far as I
Okay,
know.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad because that makes it go. Because in
One
the
needs
comics,
to be John and one needs to be Connor. Just so we're
in the
clear on
comics, has he ever had 2 kids?
He's never had 1 kid.
that. Until recently.
John, no.
Until
So,
Rebirth.
for those of you guys who don't know, John is an anomaly. All the
Oh, I'm
super
aware,
boys,
but that's still his kid.
no. But what I'm saying is like that, and that's from like 2015. Like he's
Yeah,
never
prior
had
to
a
that, he never had
legitimate
a
kid.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
And Elseworlds
But-
titles he has.
But we don't count
yeah,
those.
yeah.
In continuity, he's never had a legitimate kid. The only one he's
Well,
had
he's-
was Connor, who was the
Continuity
clone.
now.
Yeah.
Well, no. So,
You know that we're in today and not.
right. So
Oh, no.
John,
This is
14, right?
96.
John was only created because of the loophole they made with convergence.
Oh, I'm
'Cause
aware.
The general rule was Lois wouldn't survive childbirth
Yeah.
with a Superboy. So
Unless you go to all those alternate realities.
where somehow they find a
Where
way
they
to do
totally
it.
do.
Or the ones where he just has a kid with Wonder Woman. Those
That's
more,
true.
Those make more sense. But
I do always find it funny when we go, it doesn't relate to comics in the 80s. And it's like, we're not in the 80s and it's
Right.
continuity now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yes, it does
I
fully relate to the
I want
comics.
one of them to be named Connor and he can't fly and he's pissed off at John who can't.
I actually would. That's like what I'm expecting. I'm honestly expecting one of them has powers, the other one doesn't. Because let's be honest, if they both had powers, I feel like
What's the
it's
point?
pointless of having
No,
two.
it's the super family.
Exactly.
I'd
but
watch that.
they'll have one that does, one that doesn't, so that one bonds with Lois, one bonds
Sure,
with
yeah,
Superman,
yeah, yeah.
and then
There's
you
a
can
constant
actually
struggle.
have the
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. So
That's Christopher Kent. That's
yeah, I
not
was
even
gonna
a
say,
son.
well, the chat's telling me that he's the biological son. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he's just another Superboy.
Yeah, he was part of the. They brought him in and made him an honorary Kent.
Right,
Sort of like a
but he's
Skywalker
another
thing, you
honorary
just
Kent.
take
It's
it.
just like Connor. Like you can call him Superboy
It's
you
a
want, but it's not.
ghost.
Yeah.
No, Christopher Kent is the biological son of General Zod and Ursa, who are both Kryptonians. So
All right, simmer.
I'm just yelling at our chat and all the people who are going to go to the YouTube comments and say it. No,
Simmer.
Superman does not have any biological children other than John, and that was a new thing where they loopholed it in. So
Loophole. You got a kid now. Son of a bitch. I'd be pissed.
did you just call
I
Lois
mean,
a bitch?
isn't that generally his reaction to Connor Kent? You're technically my dad.
That'd be my reaction too.
I gotta
If a
go.
kid showed up and was like, "I'm a clone of you and an evil guy."
He's like, I gotta go do something on Krypton. Krypton's gone. I gotta pull planets across the universe with a chain.
Start
You
dodging
know what? Why don't
alimony
you spend
payments.
this weekend with your mother,
Yeah.
Lex?
That would be funny.
All right, this Christmas you're at Lex's, next you're in mine.
That's awkward. It's a weird family reunion.
So anyway,
So what are we even talking about?
I don't
Something
even
about
know.
the
Superman,
outdoor
2 kids,
pilot.
yeah.
I'll probably actually check out that Superman show because I like what's his
check it out.
face and what's her face as Superman and Lois. I don't know the actor's name.
And so they've also announced the one show that we got a nod to thanks to the movie, but the Green Lantern show's been announced.
Yes.
Officially coming to HBO Max in May. I don't know if it's going to be coming out with launch or they're going to pull the Disney Plus thing and go like, here's a show. You'll see it in 4 years.
It's possible.
I'm surprised they didn't show a Watchmen universe now that I think about it.
Throw that in there too.
Well, I mean, if you think about
Night
it, they
Sister from
grabbed
the
pretty
TV
much.
show.
They pretty much grabbed every single other superhero show,
Yeah, pretty
and if
much.
they grabbed one that's going to HBO Max, I would assume
Why
they
not
would be able
pull-
to
yeah,
grab the other
Watchmen.
HBO. So whatever.
And then there's the other show they announced, Aquaman, King of the Sea, or in my tweet, which I misspelled, Kong of the Sea.
I saw.
I'd
That.
watch that. Fighting a big monkey.
Oh, I was expecting the big monkey is Aquaman.
Is Aquaman. Yes. Imagine the size of that trident. No? It's just King Kong in like the yellow armor. I'd watch that.
So anyway, it's an animated show, but it's supposedly going to be continuing the Aquaman of the movies storyline.
Good.
Okay.
What do you guys
If he
think
doesn't
about
say
that?
my man at least once per episode, there's no point.
There's
in
no word if it's Jason Momoa voicing or not.
I don't care.
My man.
My man, every episode.
And
Twice,
every
minimum.
episode, it has to be referred at least once of him talking to fish
Sure, yeah, obviously.
and him not answering.
Yeah.
And not until the finale of the show. They're like, by the way, yeah, I can talk.
So this is your guys' discussion on Aquaman, right? We're just gonna.
Yeah, what's the problem? I want to see
You
on the
brought
show.
it up as a topic.
Yeah.
He's just like my man talking to the fish.
Yeah. He looks to the fish.
My fish.
My fish. Yes.
I got
All right, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Green Lantern
Yeah.
show.
I mean, I'm excited for the idea of the Green Lantern show.
Yeah.
I'll have to see more on the Green Lantern
think
show before I'm excited for it.
I have higher expectations because it's on HBO.
Sure, yeah.
So that's something I'm excited about that makes me prepped and
Right.
really I will watch it, not I'll let him watch it and then tell me to watch it kind of
Right,
thing.
yeah.
That's a lot of them.
That's fair.
So that's pretty much all of it right there. The chat's having a huge debate over whether or not Connor is a protege or a child or what the whole deal is.
He's a clone.
It's a clone. Depending on your interpretation of when they've done it, they've literally said things like, "You should be taking care of this child of yours, Superman."
He's practically
my
your son.
clone.
And I would be like, no, he's my clone.
It's actually going to be the
count.
Young Justice one shows up.
Chris Kent is
Yeah,
not
he's
his
got
child.
a shirt,
And then
he's
there's the
8.
argument that Chris Kent counts because he was adopted. And I'm like, no, biological son is John. Only one. I'm having a rant with our chat. They're not even there.
Now I want a news story that's called Super Sons, and it's just Superman having to deal with all his sons.
No, I got this. So it's a team book. All of the illegitimate clone children or adopted children or cousins by marriage, whatever, of Superman come together to form a team.
Well, I feel like this topic right here will be our next week's comics experiment. Superman's 15 strongest kids.
Okay.
I didn't know there was 15.
All right.
I know the latest one was his daughter in the Golden Child.
That's his daughter with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a bitch. Honestly.
But you said that to her.
Yeah,
You said that to her face.
straight to her face. And then she melted me with heat vision.
I don't think that ended
Yeah,
up
no,
well.
it's not a
I
good plan.
stared into the window of her soul, and she killed me.
And she killed me.
Just straight up murdered me.
Straight up murder.
Last thing, good thing you guys brought this up in our chat here. Gleek. I hit up
Yes.
Andy and I said, "Can you make me a Know Your Universe and the monkey from the
So,
Wonder Twins?"
He's from the Wonder Twins.
I was gonna say, was that
And
a
the Super Friends.
Okay, so
Was that
I'll
a
explain.
confirmation of the Wonder Twins?
I'll explain what this is in general. So people,
Quick question, though.
Sure.
Yes.
Because they said this is a hidden warehouse of Star Labs
Yes.
that nobody knows about.
And
It's
no
a
one
big-
fed that.
It's a big empty room, oddly
table
enough,
in it.
shaped like the Hall of Justice.
with nothing but a table,
With
in the
nothing
middle.
but the table in the middle. Who
And
was
a glass
feeding
costume.
that monkey?
Yeah.
Killer Frost there wasn't like, oh, I gotta go. Why? I gotta feed a monkey.
They're probably gonna go, it's a space monkey.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He's
Like,
somehow
but it
eats
obviously had
gravity.
bananas. Like who? It had a blanket.
So anyway, Gleek is Wonder Twins were originally created for the Super Friends TV show back in the day, and Gleek was put in as the cartoon element to give you wild and zany adventures.
Yeah, everybody had to have a cartoon sidekick.
Yes, This is that day and age with Hanna-Barbera and all them. Gleek is a purple monkey. I don't think he has powers, but he's super intelligent.
To my knowledge.
No.
Yeah. And he's not even that intelligent.
No.
Maybe slightly more than an average monkey.
But
Isn't he blue now?
He might be blue. I think he's blue.
well, yeah,
I'm
because they
pretty
used
sure
him
Their
he's-
recently.
costumes are purple.
Yeah.
Their costumes are purple.
Yeah. He's blue. He's a blue monkey.
Yeah.
With a yellow and purple costume that gets buff
I'm
as
pretty
hell.
sure. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure the original incarnate. I mean, I'm not.
the
I mean, yeah.
He was
Gleek
blue
is a
though?
blue alien monkey
That was
and
the
the
image I
pet
saw.
of Zan and Gina.
Oh, just the
Wonder
way that this
Twins.
image showed it.
He's blue.
Right, no, but I'm saying, but when you look at it small, because he's next to all the purple. That's
So today we learned that Benny's partially colorblind.
Yes.
why is it? Why when I looked up Gleek on my scene,
And
all
that
the kinds of-
humorful is a word.
Because, gleeking
Oh, right.
is also when you do that weird thing with your tongue that just, your saliva just spits out.
Oh.
So
It's called gleeking as well.
this obviously no, they haven't said anything about Gleek. There's a couple ideas that this is going to lead to a Justice League potential spin-off show, which I doubt we're going to get.
They'll bring in the Super Friends.
The Super Friends kind of a thing.
It's all like the side lame characters.
There's just a puddle in the background for like the first 8 episodes, then it turns out it's Zan the whole time.
That would be really funny.
Right.
Why does this bucket of water keep moving?
And there's just a tiger. A tiger in a bucket of water, and no
what
one
the
questions
hell?
them.
We got a bucket of water over here. There's a bird that keeps flying around.
And a monkey.
And a monkey.
Well, let's be honest. The Wonder Twins would make sense because they would feed Gleek, and that's how he survived
Right.
the
They're
whole time.
janitors.
What I'm curious about is, in my theory, because everyone's like, oh, it might be a Super Friends TV show, or they're leaning towards that as being the next crossover. It'd be like everyone comes together. If that's the case, then this monkey's just going to be loose for a year. Just
Every episode of every show, or whenever they go to the Hall of Justice warehouse,
Right.
They're just like, we can't get rid of that damn monkey. Somebody says it.
It's actually the warehouse of justice, for the record. It's true.
Just offhandedly on Flash.
yeah.
Where have you been all day? I'm still trying to get that damn monkey.
With the monkey, I am honestly, legitimately expecting it's going to be the Legends of Tomorrow part.
I can see
Because
that, yeah.
it was the comedic part
Yeah.
of the Hall of Justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they added, I can't remember her name, but they turned one of the characters into a cat for one of the episodes. A lot of people really enjoyed that. And I think they were like, screw it, let's throw in an animal.
So
throw
that's
Gleek
one
in.
of the theories that if Gleek actually isn't hinting towards anything other than he's going to join the Legends. And I thought was that maybe they're going to do a Wonder Twins cartoon because they got
I
the
can see
Deathstroke.
that. Yeah,
We have the
yeah.
Deathstroke one. We
Yeah,
have
I
the
can see
Flash
that.
one now. Like because they keep pushing these cartoons.
How would they? So the only reason I would disagree with that is that it's shown in the universe of live action.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
the
but
cartoons are in there too.
Yeah, a lot of the CW Seed cartoons
Yeah.
are
Right.
technically in canon for the live
The
action
Constantine
universe.
one's in canon. So
Nixon-
is the Deathstroke
Well,
one.
I'm wondering if that's still
Was
the
on there.
case.
Oh, because of the
Once
yeah.
again, they just
Ah,
redid
right,
the whole
yeah.
universe, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Either way, we got a monkey running around. So
Yeah.
maybe it'll never be
That's
used. Maybe it'll
all
join
that
Legends.
matters.
It's actually just every time they do an episode, you just hear the monkey in the background.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just have him like,
Yeah.
and like you see like Cisco run by, and like, damn it, Gleek. That's all you need.
We never see the monkey.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
We just always see people chasing.
Every
the
now and
monkey.
then somebody pops their head in. Has anyone seen a monkey? No? All right, thanks.
It'd
Anyone
be even
seen a
better-
blue monkey?
It'd be even better like on Batwoman. Flash is like, "Whoa, I'm chasing a monkey. Have you seen it? No? Okay.
He's wearing a yellow costume, has a purple cape,
And he's blue.
and he's blue.
You don't mention that he's blue ever. It's just a monkey.
You could have led with that.
Can you describe the monkey? Well, he's wearing a yellow costume, has a cape, and he's blue. No, haven't seen anything like that around.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed our discussion about it. Overall, I thought it was an okay, just not their best crossover they've ever done. Don't forget, if you want to support the show, subscribe right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where you can join the discussion on a weekly basis. And Benny learns to talk eventually.
You can also go to our
Yeah, I was
sponsors,
hoping for it.
Raid Shadow Legends, which is patron.me/comicsraid. And that's patron, not Patreon. I do want to make that specific. And then you can also get honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE.
Yes. And don't forget, you can also go to our Patreon, which is why I wanted Dan to go first so we can specify that. Patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can get early access to this. And if we can't get it to you early access due to our production schedule, sometimes you at least get unedited versions of it. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys so much for your support, and we will see you next week right here at the Comics Experiment. And shout out to our audio listeners that we all hit the table like at least 20 times.
I finger gun for you audio listeners. I had to say it. I realized after I did it that you just said audio, and then I went, ha-ha.
Also, I am currently making a face.
And just so you guys know, audio listeners, Andy's been nude the whole
The
episode.
whole time.
Why do you think we keep cutting to his face?